Hello and welcome back to lifeup. This is another great opportunity to share great information with you. I appreciate your support that you are giving me so far. I encourage you to continue supporting me as I keep on giving you all the necessary information you need when moving abroad, specifically for teachers who want to teach in the United States or want to teach in Canada, for students who want to study abroad, those who want to work. There are limited opportunities as well for you. So do not hesitate to ask me any questions that you have on any of these. And then if you are not part of the family, do well to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification as well so that you don't miss or any video that I put across. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you something important you need to know when you want to apply to come to Canada, being it visit, being it study, being it work, like whatever application you want to apply to come to Canada. This is very, very important that we need to know. Most of the time we ignore it and then we don't take particular attention to it, and then at long runs it affects us one way or the other, and even at times some people it does not work well with them. If they knew, then they could have done it a different way, or they could have used a different approach or did something else different. So what I'm talking about is what is known as processing time. What is known as processing time. So this is very, very vital. It's very important. Anytime you want to apply for a visa to Canada, it's very important that you check the processing time in order for you to make the decision on when to apply. Why am I saying this? For instance, if you apply for like school, if you apply to come to school, you have to check the processing time of the student visa application, and then you check the time the school is opening or the time you are supposed to start your schooling. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. Generally, if you want to apply as an international student, give yourself about 4 to 6 months. Like if you apply for the school, like give yourself 4 to 6 months to go through the school application, to go through the immigration application, and then everything. Give yourself those time, and that way you know how to prepare yourself, and then you wouldn't be struggling along the way because the school might be ready and then your visa too is not ready, and then you wouldn't know what to do. At times some school will allow you, or most schools will allow you to like defer your course to the next intake time, like defer your admission to the next intake time. But some too, you have to pay something because they can't leave your space vacant. So don't make that mistake. There are so many different schools have different policies for that. If you're not lucky, some schools may not even help you in that route. That may be few of them. They may not help you in that route, and then they have to cancel your admission. Then you have to reapply again. So you have to check that. Most colleges and universities, they process your application very quick. So you get your application offer very early. You get your admission. Some, especially those who demand you to pay like deposits, you pay your deposit, they give you admission later. But when it comes to the visa, the IRCC Do not joke with their timeline. Don't joke with their timeline. So if you check on their website, it will tell you the timeline. And then you should know that the timeline they tell you is exclusive of the time they'll get your, the time you apply to the time they get your biometric. That is not like considered part of the timeline that they have given you. And then the time they request you to bring your passport for the visa, that one too is also excluded. So it starts from the time they get your biometric, meaning they've gotten every document, because they get every document before they ask you to bring your biometric. So when your biometric is done, they receive it. That is where they start calculating the days or the weeks, whichever timeline they are using for the application that you are doing. Till the time they will respond to you and say, well, we have accepted you, we need your passport. That is the time. So if that time is, let's say, 6 weeks as of now, and then their time changes every week. Every week their time changes. So if it's 6 weeks, then the time they receive your biometric, that is where you start counting your 6 weeks. And then most of the time they tell you 6 weeks, but most of the time it goes beyond that. It doesn't really go far beyond the 6 weeks that they tell you, but it goes beyond that. So that is where you have to calculate and know that, well, my admission, if I apply to the school today, and let's say within a month I get admitted, and then I'm applying for the visa, it will take about a week or two, or let's say a month for the maximum for them to request for your biometric. So that has taken you 2 months, and then you have to take another 6 weeks. Let's make it 8 weeks for the convenience sake. So that will be another 2 months. So here you have 4 months here. You have 4 months here, and then let's say another 2 weeks to get your passport sent and then returned to you. So let's say another 1 month. So in all you have at most 5 months. So think of 4 months to 6 months. Think of 4 months to 6 months from the time you start your school application to the time you are ready to travel to Canada for your school. Give yourself 6 months. So that is where you know that if the application, you are starting application today, and then you are supposed to start the school in 2 months time, 3 months time, then you know that it will not be possible for you to get the visa at that time. It will never be possible that if you start your school application today and you are expected to start school in 3 months time or in 4 months time, in 4 months, some of them you may be lucky, and then if things work fast for you, and then even with school, they may ask you, well, it's a requirement for medical. That I did not even consider. That one will also take some time. So let's 4 to 6 months. So if you're applying for a school today, see that your school is starting like within 6 months. That is after 6 months or beyond, then everything could work out for you. Don't apply for course like the intake. So if you see that the intake, the program you want to do, we have about 6 months to start. Maybe if that is a fall, the school might have another intake for the spring or even winter or spring. So you could send your intake to, let's say, spring, and then that will give you a longer time to get all this thing done, so that you wouldn't be in a rush. You wouldn't be like doing this and that to help you come here. So just you do your program, you do everything in a relaxed mode. And then for visitors, for school, that is very simple. So for 6 months, then you should be okay. For visitors, I think the last time I checked, is about 200 and something days, which has even really come down. That's really come down. And then you should note that the days are only Monday to Friday. That is how it's being counted. You don't count the weekends. You don't count the weekends. So you know that you count Monday to Friday 5 days, Monday to Friday 10 days. So that is how that is also done. So I'm sending this information to you that you have to prepare yourself very, very well, and then know the timeline so that you know when to expect your visa, and then know how to prepare. I know some people, if they put in the application, they quit their job. Because they put in the application, they'll quit their job, thinking that they have only 1 month or they have only 2 months to travel. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Even though your visa is not guaranteed until you've received it. But you know, some, because you believe in yourself and you believe in every document and information you've sent, so you believe 99.9% that your visa will be granted to you. But you should know that it takes some time, and they work within their time. They work within their time. So this is something we don't consider. Many people don't consider when they are doing application or when they want to travel. So I'm making this video for you to remember and consider this anytime you are applying to come to Canada. I know every country have their own ways, different timeline, but I'm specifically talking about Canada. So I'll end this video here today. I think this helps you if you're preparing now for school. Give yourself 6 months and start preparing. Don't take the immediate intake or the immediate start time and say, oh, I want to start in fall. Now, if you're applying for school now, you can't start in fall, because fall will begin in, let's say, September. That is where the fall is going to be. Some early will begin in August, September. So it's not possible to start your school in fall. Winter is somewhere December. Spring is somewhere, winter like December, March, December, January is winter. And I think spring is March, April, there about. So you can look at it. So from now, you can start with the winter. You can do winter because you have about 6 months. July is already in, so you have about 6 months. So winter could be possible, or to be like flexible, and then you don't have to pressure yourself. You can go for spring, or you can go for another the next year, fall. That will give you like a whole 12 months and beyond, so that everything will work for you. And you know, most schools now are doing ongoing applications, so you can just look at it and pick the one that will help you. Don't pick one that will be like your visa is not ready, school is starting, you've even already paid your deposit, now you don't know what to do. If you're not lucky, the school would say, okay, well, apply next time. If you are lucky, they will say, okay, we are keeping your deposit, and then we will just defer you to the next intake. But if you're not lucky, they may say, well, we can't do anything about it because we are expecting you at this time, you couldn't come, so apply next time, which you don't want that to happen to you. That would be a loss of money. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. If every information I'm sharing for you is very important to you, it interests you, please share the videos to others to also know, like it, subscribe it if you have not done so yet. Thank you for being part of the family. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to shoot me an email or put it in the comment section. I'll do my best to assist you the possible way I could. See you next time. Bye.